Hey up YouTube. Buenos and holla, and hey up YouTube. I'm on top of a mountain in a place called Oaxaca. There's a big mountain that I'm on now, and it's got all the pyramid type jobbies, so in a museum, so we're going to have a look at this. Have a look.
Monte Alban is located on a set of mountain ranges where the three valleys of Oaxaca meet, Etla to the north, Zimilan to the south, and Tlacolula to the east. It is located at 1,900 meters above sea level and 300 meters above the valley level. The interaction of the inhabitants of this pre-Hispanic city with the environment and the modification of the natural environment in agricultural practices allowed the development of this ancient urban center. The valleys that surround Monte Alban favored the obtaining of resources, medicinal plants, yerba del cáncer, arnica, espule, etc., fruits and seeds of wild plants, pachado, guaje, patayo, tunelo, agave, among others, edible insects, grasshopper, cicada, maguey worm, chicatana, wasp, game animals, such as rabbit, armadillo, deer, quail. Stone, lime, and adobe were also obtained for construction, clay for making ceramics, and others. Products. The tour of this ancient city is an invitation to reflect on the importance of conserving natural resources. In their eyes, Monte Alban appeared like a table with a series of artificial mounds of conical or pyramidal proportion, covered with trees and undergrowth. Their height varied between 14 and 20 yards. In each of them, found underground galleries, lined with slabs and quadrilongs of various sizes of Barraqueña stone. Zender 1977-30 documents the first description of Monte Alban attributed to Guillermo Dupaix at the beginning of the 19th century.
Fascinating, the history.
Since ancient times, the valley of Oaxaca was inhabited and constituted an important cultural area. At least 16 ethnic and linguistic groups lived in Oaxaca in the late pre-Hispanic era. The ancient city of Monte Alban was one of the main pre-Hispanic settlements in Mesoamerica for 13 centuries, between 500 BC and 800 AD. The Zapotec culture had its splendor here. The archaeological zone extends over 20 square km and covers three large hills, Monte Alban itself, Atzampa to the northwest, and El Gallo between them. The area of intensive pre-Hispanic occupation covers more than 6.5 square km. The entire area has groups of large structures such as Cerro Atzampa, El Gallo, Paraguito, Monte Alban Chico, Pitaheo, and Plamaje. But the main plaza of Monte Alban is the focal point of this area.
Yeah, kind of the thing. Most of the schools have a significant hole in them. That's a shame. Did it happen? So this model is what it looks like. And we're going to explore. So let's go and explore. So it's Zonda Antiquity de Monte Alban. So there's a sign that says some of these are actually tombs, which I don't know. I'm really not sure at all. I don't know if you can see.
Building X.
I think you can.
Building X, U-row. This enclosure is a perfect example of the superposition of architectonic structures common to Mesoamerica. Part of a platform was removed with the remains of its temple, which permitted the discovery of an earlier construction. The adobe and stone fill, in addition to the quality of the stucco floors, prevented its destruction. To preserve it, new adobes were used, made with the same earth. In this way, this ancient construction system is maintained and preserved. Residents of Tomb 104, UM. This is one of the most elegant residences in Monte Alban. The house and tomb were built around 500 to 700 AD. The rooms are grouped around a quadrangular central patio. The refined treatment of the tomb and its decoration explain the importance of the buried character. A large number of clay objects, pots, plates, jugs, incense burners and urns, were placed next to the deceased as an offering. In this case, a large urn represents the goddess of corn, Tepetl Kozobi, which decorates the facade of the tomb. A double-molded architectural panel, similar to that seen in the buildings of the Great Plaza, frames it.
If I have to go up here or not, but let's go. You can see more of Oaxaca. I was right over there last night. But it's quite a big place.
This residence, unlike others in Monte Alban, houses 4 tombs inside.
That's entrance to the tomb then.
103, 107, 10 and 112. The main tomb has polychrome mural painting and is oriented with the entrance to the west. This housing complex has access to each of the cardinal points, as well as a system of rooms with their own patios towards each direction. It is surrounded by a series of smaller burial sites, which makes it a true necropolis from the years 500 to 800 AD. Epoch by V.
Let's get down there without breaking his neck. Okay, don't know what this is, but I'm probably not allowed to go down. But let's go and have a look. Oh, so this is probably a burial chamber, if you can see. I'm guessing. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, let's get back out. So, looks like these are tombs as well. And then there was that went in just there. Just in case Google Translate doesn't work. More over the top. Like some entrances there as well. This place. A bit of groping in it then. Here's the fancy stonework again. This place is massive. Super cool.
This stele is the tallest, 5.80 meters, and one of the oldest known in Monte Alban. It was erected during Era II, around 100 BC to 300 AD. Apparently it is a type of astronomical instrument similar to those found in other civilizations, obelisks, and that serves, among other functions, to verify the local noon, this moment being one of the four subdivisions of the day in the antiquity. Its most obvious geometric function is to reflect through the position of its shadow the moment when the sun is at noon, which is why it can be applied in the Zapotec language term Nawiji Kopecha, sun above or in the middle,
of the courtyard,
or the equivalent in Latin term meridiana.
Goes all the way around it.
In addition to this function, annually its shadow grows to the maximum to the north during the winter solstice and decreases to the south on the summer solstice, thus establishing a unit and system of measurement of time and space to order architecture and the calendar.
So cool.
On two of its sides you can still identify some of the signs of ancient writing. On the eastern side 2 signs are seen. The largest seems to be a version of the water glyph, and the meaning of the other is not yet known. On the west side, a vertical sequence of signs from the old Zapotec calendar appears, which is interpreted as part of a specific date of the event.
Yeah, love to get all the way. Love to get all the way. It's parallel rocks, everybody, but a lot of history. A lot of history. Cool. You can see a great deal. Yeah, they're just doing some building work to stabilise it. Stop the water getting in. Blowing the rocks out. I'm in a siesta. Oh wow.
Here there are numerous stones engraved with different human figures in dynamic positions. Their characteristics denote several traits in common.
That's pretty cool.
They are naked male characters with a wide nose and thick lips, similar to the Olmecoid style, who wear personal ornaments, necklaces, earmuffs, nose rings, and some show glyphs that represent blood. There are several reliefs whose most up-to-date interpretation proposes that they are rulers or leaders of neighboring towns of Monte Alban who were captured and killed in sacrifice. There is a marked symbolism with the apparent castration of the characters and the obtaining of blood, perhaps to offer it to the deities or perhaps used as a fertility cult. The wall, ornamented with sculptures that represent dancers vertically and swimmers horizontally, could refer to characters or events. The presence of glyphs related to dates on the various stones narrate historical events that occurred at that time. Centuries later, the Zapotecs themselves dismantled part of the wall to reuse it in other buildings. The roof portion of the wall is the only one that was preserved without alterations from later times.
At the corner.
For their conservation, the sculptures that were detached were copied, while the originals were transferred to the Monte Alban Site Museum.
Yeah, this is so special. Such a special place. A really special place. And I wish somebody was here with me because she would have loved this. She would have really loved it. 40-metre wide staircase. That's cool. So let's get up here without having a bloody heart attack. Well, I survived the steps and I got to the top, and there's another pyramid here. That's pretty cool. So I've just been talking to some English people. The first English people I've met in Mexico, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No, I met that many English people in on this trip, funny enough. Some that have, you know, live out here or live in the States, but not so many. Very nice people. Hopefully we shall see them on YouTube, or they'll see me on YouTube. So, right, we shall have a look at these. Oh, this place is, honestly, and now I can actually see the top of the buildings because I'm high up, which is even better. If that's a bricked up entrance or not. Cool. So, which is pretty special look at it. That is so cool. Yeah. Just finishes there. No, it doesn't. There's, if you can see, there's a 90-degree right angle. Cool. That's the one with all the carvings on in the centre. But there are the steps that I came down and up. Yeah, and be careful because my battery's running out now.
Exploration of this basement,
cool.
an attempt was made to
this is
indicate
it.
the action of time on the pre-Columbian monuments. Most of its architectural elements have been left apparent, just as the archaeologists found them. The actions that were carried out to preserve its morphology were minimal. Therefore, public access has been prevented, so as not to risk its fragility in favor of the didactic phenomenon of collapse. At the top there are only traces of an enclosure, with an offering box at the entrance corresponding to period E by V, 500 to 800 AD, in addition to the finishing of a substructure.
Not the history that's here, and I bet there's something buried. So we've got all this and a big thing, and I just come up here and There's this bit here as well. This is the kid size one. That's where I'm going now. Oh, so it's actually a ball court. Cool.
During the E/V period, Building E was extended to the south and a staircase was built from the plane of the north platform to the top of Building E, where a temple was built with a view to the south.
Cool.
A stele engraved with representations of the ruling class of Monte Alban was erected on a landing at the upper portion of the staircase. 4 of the 5 individuals are women. Each one appears with its calendrical and personal name. The main characters, an elderly woman and a younger man symbolized by a jaguar, perform a ritual, possibly related to the transfer of power between generations. The other women could be her relatives. Period E/V late 800
I
AD.
wonder if they were sacrificing people. These pillars must have been quite cool. Yeah, super cool.
Oaxaca Palace. The
Smashing.
Ocelotépec Palace, Yukú Kuììn. This complex is part of the most exclusive residential areas of the North
You can
Platform.
actually see
The palace
there's
is
a
made up
doorway
of a central patio
up there.
around which several rooms
Where's
of
it there?
different
It might
sizes
be
are
there,
grouped.
actually.
Its dimensions and the large number of rooms suggest that the
Doorway
palace
there.
was occupied by a large group of high social rank. The central patio lacks a tomb. In its place there's an altar that is related to the ceremonial
Absolutely
character of the complex.
Imagine how
The architectural remains observed date from the years 300 to 600 AD.
So much history. Still more scum yet. How much of that you can see? I've got a photo of it anyway.
Presence of panels decorated with stuccoed stone discs painted red gave the name to this building.
Painted red.
This type of ornaments are only found in 2 other buildings in Monte Alban.
I think you can get on top
This
of it.
platform with a temple has the particularity of being
So you
attached
see
to the Great
to be
North
very top, 'cause
Platform.
there's 3
This
pyramids,
distinguishes
4
it,
maybe.
since the other buildings
Very
on the
top.
site are separate.
So,
The
just
4
be around.
temple bases delimit a ceremonial complex from era E/V, 500 to 800 AD. On the north, east, and south sides are buildings D, B, G, and E, which make up the high platforms that supported temples with adobe
Looks like a
walls.
bit where you
To the west is the temple of 2
Sacrificial
rhyolite
payment to
columns
each
that show
pond.
reliefs of the broad-beaked god and supported a roof. The trig point is a modern topographic measurement point, marked by a bronze-level bench and used by government agencies to map the country.
go up that one. Hopefully the last lot of steps. Well, I hope you like that YouTube, because I am absolutely knackered. It's red hot, I've run out of water now. But this place is sublime. Honestly, I really do love it. If it was a bit cooler, I'd spend a lot more time as well, but I'm knackered. I really am knackered. I'm not used to this. So, right, hopefully you enjoyed that. and we'll see you on the next one. There's a few more of these to come down in Chiapas and Cancun area, and I think some in Belize and Guatemala. I'm trying to find one that's, I think I have found one that's not very well known, and it's up a really long miles and miles of off-road track, and not a lot of people go to it, and it's very overgrown, and how you see it in all the movies, like you've just found it in a jungle. So that would be pretty cool. So I'll go back to Land Rover and die. Toodle pips, bye bye.